Live on Facebook and YouTube.
All right. All right, everyone. Today we are discussing a 1-year apprentice to stylist training program. And a lot of people from my era of doing hair, we took like 2 years assisting. Not me personally, but like there was like a 2-year, 3-year, 4-year assistant program. And so many people thought that that is what you have to do to pay your dues to get ready to work behind the chair. Today, it's not the case. I just had a conversation today with a girl named Desi who works at Plush Salon. She got out of school a year ago. She's on the floor, not even a month, and she's booked. And that's a combination of her putting the effort in, and that's also a combination of her owner, Julie, putting the work in, like reinforcing education, instilling uh, good core values, instilling work ethic. So it's important that both the owner and your assistants, you guys align with a vision. And so every single team member, when they come on into your salon, your barbershop, or whatever, they need to have a clear plan. It's really confusing when you're 18 years old, you just got out of hair school, uh, what your next step is. And so you have to have a clear destination, goal, and target for each one of your team members, especially your assistants. So today I want to go over the whole entire 1-year apprentice stylist program. James, are we able to share my screen by any chance?
We are.
Yeah.
No, not right now, but we can. Would you like to? Let me send it to Basecamp and you just click the link and.
Yeah, send it to Basecamp. And I'm gonna hop in here, guys, so you can see my screen. And this is a quick breakdown of how we take assistants from not knowing anything to bringing them through a program to give you an idea of what it should look like. This is the basic gist of what I do in my salons. I got a lot of this from the assistant handbook, the handbooks that you probably see ads everywhere talking about them. But this particular program is going to be, you could just copy and paste it, take it for yourself. If you want this Google Doc, I'll send it over to you. James, let me know when we're ready for that.
I clicked, I sent it.
All right, cool. Let me hop in here. I'm going to share my screen with you guys so you can see exactly what I'm looking at. If you have any questions, be sure to send them over to me. James, so I'm on mute now. You're all good on sound, right?
Yep.
Cool. All right. Share my screen. All right, so you guys can see what I'm looking at.
Not yet.
Nope, you're going to in a second.
Boom.
All right. Let's see which one of these we have here. Let's have an actions. Had it up here. There we go. All right, so pretty much we're going to break down the skill categories, timeline, testing and evaluations, performance review criteria, a skills checklist, some client interactions, consultation standards, business and branding, and then the final mastery to a stylist graduation. So, a little brief introduction about what this is. It's going to cover cutting, coloring, styling, consultations, and some business acumen. Here's where I think a lot of people fall short is they don't have, or they don't spend time really getting their team familiar with the proper way to communicate. It's the most important thing. We are in an age now where a lot of the younger stylists don't have that traditional education in communication. You grew up texting, you grew up on an app or like Facebook or Instagram, and just that one-on-one personal communication like you have to do behind the chair, I think it's missing. The emotional intelligence is missing. Your ability to feel a client's likes or dislikes based on like body language and based on tone of voice. I feel like there's a gap more so than ever now. So as an owner, if you're really building a team member and they're between the ages of like 18 and 24, like there's some education that needs to take place just on emotional intelligence and communication. And I think if you just solve that, everything else falls into place. So you go back and jump in here. James, you're going to share my screen so you can also see me on the side.
You got rid of it. You have to present again.
Oh, you're still seeing me though?
I see you.
All right, cool.
There you go.
Nice. All right, cool. You still see me?
Yeah,
All right, nice. I can't see anything, so that's why.
have it all taken care of.
All right, so skill categories. We talked about cutting, coloring, styling, shampooing and treatments, client consultations, business and branding. Now, shampooing and treatments, I really should make this retail, right? But then business and branding, it kind of like they overlap. So when it comes to the shampoo bowl, a lot of the retail being sold for an assistant happens there. That's where they get practice at it. So if you can give them a commission on products they sell too, that'd be super beneficial for an assistant. If they get a little extra bonus at the end of the month for some product, shampoo, conditioner that they upsold. Now, for me, it's so important to get my assistant from day 1 to week 2 up to speed with how to style hair. So that's my main purpose right now. My main purpose is to get that person familiar with how to properly do a blowout, how to properly do a shampoo, obviously, and like rinse out color. That shouldn't have to be said. But how to dry someone's hair, how to properly rough dry, how to rough dry with intention, how to style someone's hair. That's going to build their confidence right away. There's really not too much they can do to damage someone's hair by blowing it out. And it's nice for you as an owner to make back some of that revenue because or make up some revenue based on that stylist or that assistant because they're costing you an hourly pay. So if you have them at 15 bucks an hour, 17 bucks an hour, whatever you pay them, a day rate, 50, $100 a day, if you can now get them up to speed with blowing out hair and they can start styling people's hair in the salon, you are now going to be making money with that assistant rather than losing money. It's not really losing money. You're investing in them. I get it, but I just need you guys to understand having them as an asset rather than a liability is going to really help your bottom line. And so the fundamental cutting techniques, one length, layers, and graduation. Honestly, when it comes to cutting hair, it's super easy. There's really 3 questions that you want to identify. Do you want your hair to go away from your face, go towards your face, or lay neutral? And then how do you make one of those 3 things happen? Cutting hair is so overcomplicated by so many different educators. And then what happens is you have different people watching different TikToks and different YouTube channels, and they get confused. So rather than teach them specific hair cuts, teach them why you do certain things and how you do them. Rather than, hey, you got to stand here and do this and cut here, and that's how you get this exact haircut. Because people's head shapes are different. People have cowlicks, people have bald spots, people have thinning hair. But if you teach the fundamentals, the why behind cutting hair, and the right questions to ask, it's going to make it a lot easier. And then it's not like short hair or long hair because so many people don't cut short hair because they don't know how to do it. And if you did teach them how to cut hair, they can cut long, short, whatever. So next area will be coloring. Coloring is super simple too, guys. Like there's only 4 things you really need to worry about when it comes to hair color. If you want to drop it in the chat, drop it in the chat. I want to see if everyone knows, but James, monitor a chat for me.
I am monitoring chat.
Cool. So the 4 things when it comes to hair coloring, someone's either going lighter, they're going darker, they want to be warmer, or they want to be cooler. That's it. So don't overcomplicate hair color. Yes, there's remaining pigment, there's canceling tones, there's complementary tones, but at the end of the day, you're either going lighter, you're going darker, you're staying warmer, or you're going cooler. That's it. Don't overcomplicate it. Now, in addition to that, obviously, color theory, formulation mastery, application techniques, toners and glosses, and color correction. That's all based into the coloring section of what you're teaching them. They have to know that if you're trying to cancel out yellow, you're going to use violet. They also have to know why. Well, let's unpack it real quick. What if you put blue and yellow together? You get green. What's violet? Violet's a combination of blue and red. So why doesn't violet turn yellow green? It's because it has red in it and red cancels green. So they start learning the whys around certain colors that cancel other colors out that will just add so much value to their brain capacity when they're trying to formulate color. It's like almost addition with color, right? It's like this plus this equals that and cancels that. So we teach that. Next is styling, obviously. That's 3 here on the list, but it really should be number 1. Shampooing and treatments. This is like assistance 101. the head massage, how to properly rinse out color. Like there's nothing more annoying than getting your client in your chair and then having a huge, big glob of color behind her ear. And there's nothing more annoying than her going home and scratching her head and there's color under her nails. So really drive this one home. It's not that hard to do. Scalp health, she should be analyzing the scalp at the sink, showing the client that she knows what she's talking about or he knows what she's talking about. And then client consultation and experience. This is so important that the stylist or the future stylist, the assistant, understands what questions to ask. If it's someone's first time in a salon, hey, Barbara, welcome. It's your first time here, right? Yes, perfect. How did you hear about us? Was it Google? Was it Bing? Was it Yahoo? Was it Instagram? Oh, it was Google. What did you search? I'm curious. Best salon near me, best hairstylist near me. They need to understand, like, what are people searching for so they can either make a note of it or just track that for later so they can tell you, the owner, like, hey, this ad you're doing is working. Then there is the Instagram. Like I heard about you on Instagram. I saw a post. Well, what post was it? Well, here's the cool thing. It was this post you did last week. If 5 people came in from that post, it tells you to do more of that. If 5 people came in from that post that you don't want in your chair, don't post stuff like that anymore. But this part of the consultation is really crucial for a business growing. So all of these different areas will help an assistant truly grasp how to build their own personal brand in your salon and how to get busy. There's 2 areas they're going to get busy in, or 2 reasons why they're going to get busy. It's they have a great personality, they're super likable, and they're really good at cutting and coloring. Like their technical skills are amazing. You combine those 2, if they're efficient and they're the best at each of those different areas, they're going to be busy. So these areas, these 6 areas will help them fully establish and grasp every concept in one of those areas. So here's a timeline breakdown. Phase 1, foundations. This is months 1 through 3, right? Learn the salon culture, the standards, professional communication, the way you speak to a client when they're getting greeted at the front desk, to how you're taking them to the stylist. All of this is going to now transfer to them behind the chair. So it's just pound that in them. Communication, super important. And then the assessments that we're going to do after phase 1 is a blowout and styling evaluation, and then a written salon test on standards and product knowledge. If they can't clearly articulate a solution to a client's problem with either a service or with a product, then you got some homework to do. Next is phase 2. This is the advanced assistant. This is like someone who kind of knows what they're doing. This is 4 months to 6 months. This is an increase in technical skills in cutting and color. They're bringing in models now. They're actually doing stuff. They're shadowing stylists. They're beginning to assist in real services now. They're applying toners, root melts, all of that. And they start consultations. So what I do at this phase, because they should have a better vocabulary in technical skills, I have them do my consultations for me. And I just watch. I just listen. I might jump in here and there. And I would be like, hey, Jennifer, why did you ask where she came from? I know you saw her here like 15 times already, but that's part of the consultation. Let's pretend like she's a brand new client to you. And another reason why it's important, everyone, is if she came from another salon, well then, oh, well, no, what happened there? You could kind of figure out or start seeing if there was any issues that caused that person to leave. It could, whether it was the person was unavailable, it was the parking. There could be certain things that you could get in front of before they could become an issue for that client too, which is why you want to find out, it's your first time here. Where did you used to live before here? Are you new to the area? I've been here all my life. I used to go to the salon, and you want to uncover that. So you're going to start really amplifying her communication skills in this phase 2. And then obviously the key task is your basic sectioning, basic haircuts, color formulation, and then application drills. Like you want to, in order to increase speed, you have to have her brain be able to tell her hand how to do something fast enough where it's just second nature now. It's muscle memory. And the reason why hairstylists are slow is because they don't have this foundation and they don't have application drills. So hands-on foiling and toning under mentorships. Like let her bring in models, and then have them foil. Watching you is great, but they have to put their hand in there. They got to be able to microwave. They got to be able to know about placement. They have to know that if they put a hair or they put a highlight here on their part, that when you section that hair, it's going to going to be way too bright and bold. So what do you do then? So you do a couple of baby lights, and then you pivot the highlight, and then you go down the curvature of her head. So these things you can start teaching them how to really think. So the written assessments, or the assessments for this area, is a written test on color theory and formulation. And then you're going to do a hands-on cutting, like throw them in a fire right away. Have them start building the skills. Have them work under pressure. These are one of the things that my assistants hated me for. I would put them under pressure all the time. But honestly, like, clients put you under pressure. They have to be able to learn how to deal with the stress, because you're going to have that client looking in the mirror, playing with her hair, asking a million questions, and then she's not going to be able to how to act under pressure. So put them under pressure. Phase 3, 7 to 9 months. And listen, if this is a different time horizon for someone in your salon, it's okay if it's like 8 to 10. This is just a basic guidelines for you. So phase 3 is junior stylist. She's going to now start farming her own clients at this point. And she can start charging them. She went to hair school already. She has already been applying color. She's already been doing blowouts. It's time that she could take clients under supervision, right? This way she's not burning anyone's hair or doing anything crazy or reckless. But this is where she starts to develop her personal brand. Give her the skills and the power to go out and speak to strangers and be like, hey, I do hair. I would love to use as a model. I'm a junior stylist at XYZ Salon. And so she could perform all services on clients, basic colors, cuts, styling. She's tracking client retention, pre-booking rates, and you're introducing high-end techniques, like some advanced foiling placement, some advanced cutting techniques. Like, she's learning now how to stack her skills and really connect the dots when someone brings in an inspiration picture and they're really far away from that. So you're going to now start like just skill stacking this particular person. And then timed cutting and color challenges, and then personal brand presentation. This is when she starts now creating content for her social media. She or he has like a timed technique that you'd have to do. So it would be an hour for a full highlight, not a full blonding, but a full highlight. An hour for a haircut and blow dry, 30 minutes for a blow dry. You want to make sure that they understand time and timing, so that if they have to squeeze somebody in here and there, they know exactly where they can put that person in their book. Phase 4 is independent stylist. They're on their own, right? They operate independently with minimal supervision. This is 10 months to 12 months. They manage the pricing. Like, they need to start understanding what their value is and what they bring to the salon. This is how I do it at my salon. I have independent stylists. We're all commission. It's a whole different conversation. But if you have a salon where you have the structure, right, where you have a level 1, level 2, level 3, or you have a different pricing structure, then you just stick to that if that's working for you. Me, I like to talk to the person, and I like to see where they feel comfortable charging. It's never steered me wrong. So I don't believe in a level system. I believe in like independent people charging what they feel they should charge, with my supervision, obviously, but I teach them how to price things out. My whole goal as an owner is to get this person behind the chair and be efficient. I don't want to micromanage her. I don't want her to need me all the time. So I want her to really make decisions for herself or himself. And if they come to me in a couple months, they say they're a year and a half in or 2 years, like, Nick, I think I want to charge, they want to raise my prices. Good. I want you to feel that way. I don't have to come to you and tell you, hey, I think it's time we raise your prices, and then them feel uneasy about that conversation with the client. So it's important that you teach them this. Now, the key task is they have a full client schedule with retention strategies. You want to give them a boot camp. Before they graduate and be on their own, I would like to fill 1 or 2 days with that person. I will power book them back to back to back to back to back. No breaks, really, honestly. Like, I do it the old school way. And they have to learn how to run behind, how to problem solve, how to deal with a client showing up late. And I put them in every particular scenario as I can in that boot camp. And so they understand what it really means to be a stylist. If you do 1 client a day and that client cancels on you, that's 0 clients a day. I don't like running my salon like that. If that's what you want to do, all the power to you. You have to learn how to multitask in the salon and do and cater to multiple people in one day. 1 or 2 clients a day, 1 or 2 clients a day is not paying the bill. So I want to teach them that. That's how I like to run my salon. That's how I do it. Doesn't work for you, then that's cool too. But if you want to make money, there's a couple ways I can help you make money, and doing one client a day is really not one of them, unless you're charging $2,000 or $3,000 a haircut. So, all right, pricing and service structure, meeting with the salon leadership. So I want to sit with the leadership who have been around a little more, because I'm not really around, but I want them to learn how to be led by someone else other than me. There's a lot of different leadership styles, and I want them to start developing their own leadership style as well. So I want them to start developing their marketing material, their social media, a mini portfolio. And so hands-on salon day, that is like the performance test I just talked about, the boot camp. Then I want them, I have business plan presentation here, and you can make this whatever. I want to know how they're going to achieve their big goal. So one of the questions I ask people when I bring them on the team is, what experiences do you want to have in life? What kind of person do you need to become to make those experiences possible? And I also ask them, because that's a really hard question for a lot of younger people to answer, is when you're in your 90s looking back on your life, what are some of the memories you hope to have created? And so they're like, oh, memories. I want to live in Italy. I want to travel here. I want to do that. I want to have a family. So some of these things really help you get clarity on who that person is and where they want to go with their life. And then what you want to do is position your salon as the vehicle to help them get there. And so I want them to kind of give me like a little mini business plan. Like, all right, cool, Jennifer, what are we going to do? Like, what's your next plan of action? You're on the floor full time. How many posts a day you're going to do? How are you going to market yourself? What is your bio going to say on Instagram? Who is your ideal client? And let them really think about themselves as a brand and a business. And so testing and evaluation sheets. There is going to be a blow dry and styling sheet, a haircut execution, a color application and formulation, client consultation and professionalism, and then a business and marketing readiness. So those are the evaluation sheets. They will be linked inside the PDF. So if you guys want a copy of this Google Doc, just drop the word assistant in the live right here, and it will trigger an automation. I'll send you a message, and I'll talk to you after the show and send this over to you. Now, here are some things I talk about: client interactions and consultation standards. There's things to talk about with clients and things not to talk about with clients. So it's important that you teach them the standard that you're setting. A lot of times clients are sneaky. They're going to try and bully that newer stylist. So you want to make sure that they know exactly how to interact with that client. You want to make sure they know their name. They maintain eye contact. They engage in a friendly yet professional manner. If there is ever a client who acts out of line, there's someone they need to go to and speak to them about that. They really shouldn't have to handle that on their own. Excuse me 1 second. Let me go grab my manager real quick. Perfect. And then leave it up to the manager to diffuse the conversation or the situation. And then if that client's acting out of line, just throw them out of the salon. Like, you have to make sure you get the back of your team. And so there's been times when I had to step in, and honestly, if my stylist got out of line and started, getting fresh back, it's hard to, because I wasn't there in the beginning. It's hard to defend them, right? And so when I step in and this person's acting a little out of line, the client I'm talking about, it's easy because I know my stylists always act professional. And then I could step in and be the bad guy. I'd much rather them bash me in a Google review or a Yelp review than my stylist, because I don't want to damage their brand or their name. So, all right, guys, this is the path to mastery for your assistants. It is a Google Doc. So if you want that, let me know. Let's jump over into the Q&A. James, are there any questions in the Q&A?
Yeah, we have a few.
All right, cool.
Susan, Great Hair Solutions. Is this recorded? I'm at work and really want to see it.
It's going to be on our YouTube channel, Susan. Yeah, the whole thing will be recorded.
YouTube.com/Nick Mirabella 1. I put it in the chat for everybody.
Yeah, Nick Mirabella, I own that. I don't know what email has that name, but I'm going to try and find it soon.
Then we have Good Day from Australia.
What's up, Australia?
And we have Westwood. What are some ideas or procedures that franchises like Sports Clips or Great Clips that can be applied at a salon or a barbershop?
What are some ideas that franchises do?
So what are some ideas or procedures that franchises like Sports Clip or Great Great Clips?
Oh, I mean, their marketing, like their email marketing, their connection points, their touch points, they have systems in place that nurture the guest from the time they book the appointment to the time they exit. And it's a whole experience. Like it's not hard to do. Like years ago, you needed a lot of money for infrastructure, technology infrastructure, but you don't need that anymore. Like you don't need any of that anymore. So you could know what you could do is sign up for their email list, go book an appointment at their salon, see how that flow is. So see what happens when you give them your phone number, see how they text you, see what that whole entire experience is like. Every person should do that in this industry. Like if you are a new salon owner and you're trying to figure out like some strategies for client retention or communication, go sign up for an email list. Go get a book a blowout somewhere. See how the front desk answers the phone. See how they keep their bathroom. See how they follow up with you. And just steal it if you like it. It's pretty easy. James, do you need my computer anymore?
No, I don't
shut
need
it?
the computer unless you're sharing screen.
All right, cool. All right, next question.
We have what are must-have skills every assistant should master before taking clients?
The ability to problem solve on their own. Must have. Like obviously, if they have to know how to cut hair, color hair, all that's basic, right? The basic fundamentals, that is a necessity. But a must have is the ability to problem solve and the ability to not see a client see you problem solve and see you sweating, right? So as long as they could figure out a solution to a mistake they just made in a haircut, or they could figure out how to navigate overtoning someone's hair, that's going to help them out tremendously. So I would really teach them the skills of problem solving. And that's why when I was behind the chair, I would always call my assistant over and be like, Brianna, come here for a second. Jen, come here. Nicole, come here. Like, what would you do here? Is she ready yet? Look at her photos for me. And they would be like, I think she's ready. I'm like, well, you know, she has a blue lightener on, right? Oh, I didn't know. Yeah. So is the blue lightener, the purple lightener toning her hair, making it look like it's ready, or is it really ready? How do I tell? I don't know. What would you think you would do? I don't know. Would you scrape it off? Yeah. And so I teach them like these little things all the time. And then they come back to me like, I think she's ready. I'm like, oh, if you think she's ready, take her down. Like me as a hairstylist, I know she's ready. Like I know Barbara's highlights. I know she lives fully in 28 minutes. It's been 27 and a half. By the time she gets to the sink, it's going to be 28. So I'm like, all right, take her down. If you screw her up, it's on you. You're fired. And I would joke with them, but I would still put a little pressure on them and let them make decisions on their own. And that would give them confidence. And when they have confidence, they become more competent. But problem solving is the biggest skill you can give an assistant that they can always take to any section or any part of their career.
Westwood clarified and wants to know if there's any procedures that those places use for assistants. Not
Oh, cool. All right. Honestly, I really don't know. I'll be honest with you. I think my assistant program, like if I were to implement it 100% all the time, like when I was in the salon, because it's a little different now that I'm out of the salon and I got to get back into all my salons and like put that back in place again, is the best assistant program for real world doing hair. Like I know Deep Pasquale, they have an amazing program. Like Nick Arrojo has an amazing program. Like there's other stylists out there that have an amazing program where it's like classes every Friday at 5:00. And like, that's great. What I do is like, I teach them how to actually work in the salon. And so that program, I think mine's second to none. Like it requires asking 3 questions every single day to a stylist in that salon, taking 3 videos of that question. So if she's cutting hair a certain way, how is she over directing the hair? And then how it looks like what pulling out foils, film that. Why'd you take them down at this time? The reason why I like them to film is it gives the person they're asking the question to context on that question. That becomes a social media post for that stylist or whoever. That also gives that person a context. So when they say, hey, you did this thing with that client, the stylist is like, what are you talking about? Well, no, in this video right here, you over directed her hair like some weird way. Oh, that's because Barbara has she's thinning over here. So we over directed that way to push the hair in that direction to make it look more full. And so she knows now, oh, if I have a client with thinning hair right here, she could do the same thing. It just adds so much to their knowledge. And then what I have people do is they put them in a Google Doc. This is called the camcorder method, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're part of the program, this is going to be redundant for you. But if you want to learn strategies like this and other strategies, drop the word grow in the chat here live, and I'll shoot you over some information on that. But so what I then have them do is take that Google Doc with all the questions at the end of the year, upload that to ChatGPT, and now they have a FAQ question and a glossary of all the questions they ever asked. And then that becomes my internal training manual for other assistants too. So that's what I do. You can just steal mine. Next question, James.
Yeah. Should I offer a tiered stylist level system? Example, junior stylist, senior stylist, or regular stylist?
Yeah, I like that. I do like that, actually. I don't like level 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I do like the junior stylist, senior stylist, master stylist, creative director. Like those are cool. The part I don't like about the level system is the jump in commission based on the level system. I like to base the commission on the revenue brought in by the stylist. And so for me, like a level system, a lot of times it's 2 years at this level before you get a promotion. Honestly, if someone's working their ass off and they take a lot of classes and they get certifications, they could be a master stylist or a senior stylist in a short amount of time. But I'm also not big into labels either. Like I'm not a big labels guy. So to me, just because you're a master stylist doesn't mean shit to me. Like you can still bang up a haircut. Like I know master stylists that are great at cutting hair and they suck at coloring, but yet they're charging $550 for foils because they're a master stylist and they don't know what they're doing. So I'm not a big fan of like any labels that give you status in something. Just you're only as good as your work. And if you're as good as your work and you're charging for the result, you can charge what you want. It doesn't matter what label you have.
What is the best way to compensate assistants fairly while keeping costs manageable?
All right. So go back to what I said in the beginning of the conversation. Have your assistant learn the skills of blowing out hair as fast as possible. And then you pay them an hourly pay, but try and get them to be doing 3 or 4 blowouts a day. And so if my stylist is oversubscribed and she has too many clients, I'll have my assistant blow that client's hair out. And so that way she brought in 150 today and she only cost the salon 100. When you take an assistant and you just have them shampooing bowls and sweeping the floor and doing slave labor, it's bullshit. Like hire a cleaning person in your salon to do that. I get it. There's some stuff that needs to be done, but they should be filming content. They should be asking questions. They should be helping out, maybe doubling down, helping the front desk a little bit here and there, greeting clients. Like there's things they could be doing rather than just like cleaning and sweeping and like just stupid shit. Get that person some skills in styling and get them styling hair ASAP.
How do I know when my assistant is ready to take clients?
Give her clients. Have her do the boot camp day. Get like 4 or 5 clients back to back for her and make it a bunch of different things. Hair coloring, like a single process, then a highlight, then a partial highlight, then a haircut and a blowout. Give her like a full day to work behind the chair and see how she does. And then if she doesn't crack, she's ready. But you're going to know. You're going to know when she's ready. And if you have to like help her become ready, then that's your job as a leader. Help her become ready. But that boot camp, you're going to see you see a change in somebody after that. Also have them teach a class in something. Have them teach a haircutting class or have them teach a highlighting class. That also works really well.
How often should I conduct technical training and who should lead it? Myself, top stylist, or an outside educator?
How long should you conduct technical training?
How often should you conduct technical training and who should lead it?
Okay, so here's the deal. Like I said before, you should be doing it every day in the salon. You should call them over to your chair when you're doing something technical. Hey, Vanessa, come here, take a look at this. This is why I'm doing this. Hey, do you see where her like hairline is right here? She wants to be brighter here. So instead of foiling this way like I normally do, like you normally see me, I do it this way. Every day you're giving them nuggets, right? But once a month, at the bare minimum, there should be a technical class for them. If you want to really fast track your team's education, it's going to be once a week.
Okay.
I do a once a week call at 3:00. My whole teams, they should be on these calls, but a lot of them, there's a whole different conversation. Some of them are more advanced. Some of them are new. The newer ones are on these calls. I host a technical call every week in the area of mindset, money, marketing, and mastery. And so once a month, I do a technical like highlighting, hair cutting. That's in the books now. But every week at 3 o'clock, I do a call with my team.
So I got a question. It looks like from someone who is an assistant. How can I build my personal brand while being an assistant?
Oh my God, just build it. Do product reviews, document your journey. The best thing you could do is document your journey, showcase how good you're becoming. Do models, like do mannequins, do product reviews, build your personal brand around being an expert at this cosmetology thing that you're doing. And build yourself, like if you like to go horseback riding, go horseback riding. Show that in your stories. But if you truly want to be a personal brand, you have to show up consistently every day and document your journey. Don't be afraid of someone seeing you mess a haircut up or highlight up in your feed right now and then not want to come to you in 3 years from now. It's never going to happen. They're going to see you growing and see how good you're getting. Like, holy shit, like I got to go to her. Because your first time you do hair, your first picture is going to suck. The first haircut you do is not going to be great. The first color you do is not going to be awesome, but you're going to show a transformation. And then if you document that whole thing, you can literally build your personal economy. You can become an educator. You become a booked stylist. You can open a salon. Personal brand is everything. Your head's in the right direction, but show up consistently every day on social media and document your journey, and everything else will fall into place. Beautiful question.
What mindset?
In fact, actually, what is your name? DM me, Miss Assistant, whatever her name is, James, and I'm going to give you access to the next level stylist for free, no charge for you. I want to help you out. That was a great question.
What mindset shifts do I need to coach assistants through in order to reduce fear and build confidence?
All right, so confidence comes from competence. So you have to shift the mindset, that everyone's perfect, because they're not. I think assistants have this thing in their head that senior stylists are perfect and they don't mess up. We mess up all the time. We go to the back room like, what the fuck am I going to do with this person right now? Happens every day. And I want to quit every day when I was working behind the chair. There's some days I was like, you know what? This is not for me. Some days you're a hero, right? You have to get it into their head that you're not perfect. Hair is not perfect. It's not going to lift the same. It might lift different today than it will next month. You have some boundaries here of like toning and cutting, like things that if you really messed it up, it's your fault. But certain things are just out of your control. Medication. So have to drive the fact home that you're not perfect. It's just hair, and truly make them as competent as they can be, because it's in the competence they have at how competent they are cutting hair, how competent they are coloring hair, how competent they are at the conversation, how competent they are at everything they do. That directly has an impact on their confidence. And so I'm pretty confident that I can walk into any salon in the world and hold my own in every area, with the exception of updos. Give me a week or two and I will. But right now, not being behind the chair for a year, I could jump right back into it. But that's because I did it for so long and I have confidence in a lot of stuff. So I'm super confident. But yeah, I would honestly let them know the most important thing is, hey, don't try and be perfect. No one's perfect. Everyone messes up. Don't use that as an excuse to lower your standard, but just know that, hey, listen, things do happen, and then try and make them as competent as possible, and they will get confidence. That was a good question.
This is probably one that a lot of salon owners have as well. Hold on, let me.
James, while you're looking for that, guys, if you are struggling building a team and trying to grow your assistant program, don't do it alone. Seriously, just shoot me a DM, drop a message in the live here. And if you're watching on YouTube after this live, or you're watching on the podcast or listening on the podcast, just go to nickmaribel.com, go to like the contact me page or application page, or go to my Instagram and just get a conversation with me. It's me and my DMs. And I'll help steer in the right direction. I got a ton of PDFs. I got master classes. Like, don't try and do this alone. Like, there is an easier way. So.
Okay. How do I deal with entitlement or impatience from assistants who want to move up too fast?
Humble them. Check them. That's what I do. Oh, good. You ready? Cool. Throw them a corrective color and break their spirits. Here's the deal. If they crush it, then they're ready. If they break, well, then you're going to humble them. You let them fall on their face, and then you're there to pick them back up again. Like, hey, what happened? I thought you were ready. That's how I do it personally. There's probably a better professional psychological way, but listen, I was a Marine, so you get humbled real quick in the Marine Corps. But if you were to check them, and when I say check them, like throw them to the fire. Hey, let's do it. Here's a corrective color. Figure it out. And then when they ask you a question, they go, "Oh, you got it." Let them drown a little bit before you save them. You have to earn their like. You're going to get the respect that way because they're going to realize, like, oh wow, this isn't as easy as it really seems to be. And if they do have it and they're an anomaly and they're like the Michael Jordan of hair and they just got a gift, beautiful. Well, then they don't need to be that humble. Put them on the floor. But to be honest with you, what worked for me in the past was taking the stylist who thought she knew everything. And listen, if they're annoying and they think they know everything and they're just not a good culture fit for your salon, then they shouldn't be in the salon. But if they are a good fit and they're just like they got like a chip on their shoulder and they're hungry and they're super confident or overconfident, and you think they're still a good person, they have good moral character, then humble that person. Put them in that boot camp and let them fall and let them drown a little bit. And then you'll bring them back to reality. Hope that was a good enough answer for you.
So we got how can I prevent toxic dynamics between assistants and stylists, like jealousy, gatekeeping, and resentment?
How can you stop jealousy amongst stylists?
How can you prevent toxic dynamics between assistants and stylists?
You have to get rid of the scarcity mindset. So in order to get rid of the toxic relationships between the stylist and assistants and people gatekeeping, you want to get rid of the scarcity mindset. 100%. There's enough clients in the world for everybody. And sometimes stylists, they feel threatened by that young Thundercat coming up through the ranks who is going to steal their clients because they're going to charge cheaper. That's a scarcity mindset. So part of my training that I put my team through is mindset training. And so you have to make sure that they understand that there's enough clients to go around for everybody. And you're a team. You're only as good as your fellow stylists in your salon. And so if you don't have team players, you got to fix that right away. Everybody has to be there to help each other out. All right, James, last question.
We have, what retention strategies can I implement to reduce turnover after they become stylists?
Retention obviously pre-booking. Honestly, all right. Here's a great retention strategy for your team to implement. It's not just about the follow-up with a client. It's about the pre-appointment conversation. So if someone books an appointment, have them reach out to that person. Hey, Brenda, I saw you booked an appointment at 3:00 on Thursday for a partial highlight. Just want to get a little bit more familiar with your hair, and have them talk to them. By the way, we have an amazing coffee bar. How do you take your coffee? Any allergies? You want almond milk, coconut milk, some shit like that, right? So then the person's like, oh, wow, this place is really top level here. And the experience happens already. A lot of clients, they already made a decision on the salon before they went there. So a lot of people don't no-show or cancel personally because of you. It's because of them. They're nervous. So if you could get in front of that by handling that as soon as they book an appointment or a couple days before, by reaching out to that person, that's phase 1. Phase 2 in the salon, deliver on the promise, deliver on what your Instagram shows, and then you deliver on the conversation, the consultation, you deliver on the result, the haircut, the blowout, you recommend the products. And if you have to make sure they understand retail. Retail has a significant boost in your client retention. You're not selling, you're serving, and you're educating. That's part 2. And part 3 is post-appointment, right? If they don't pre-book then in the salon, call them up, check in with them. How's your hair? Here's a quick little video of how to style your hair if you're struggling right now. Here's the top 3 products I would use for your hair. Send that off to them in an email or a text. And then you will have their client retention through the roof. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you are...
What? I didn't want to interrupt because you had a good flow going.
Yeah.
But they were talking about like turnover with assistants. Like once they become a stylist, they don't want them to leave. They want them to stay in the salon, kind of thing.
Hold on. You mean like, so the question is an assistant. What do you mean turnover? There should be a stylist. You mean leave the salon as a stylist after you trained him?
Yeah.
Oh, fucking pay him better. Have a good culture. Like have in the beginning, like have a clear plan for them. Hey, Jennifer, like you just got done assisting and this is your first year on the floor. This is what you would expect out of your career in year 5. And so year 2 comes up, you do your yearly one-on-one and talk about her goals, talk about what's going on with her career, and then you outline or lay out the path for her for year number 2, and then you do it for year number 3. You have to do this. You have to make sure you know exactly what that person's goals are, not just with her career for hair, what her personal goals are, what she wants out of this life too. And then you have to show her how her work and her life are unified, and your salon's the vehicle to help her achieve everything in her professional career, which will then trickle into her personal life. And then when you showcase and you show them, and they believe you that your salon's the vehicle to help them achieve everything that they could ever want, they won't ever leave you. And sometimes people will leave you. It's inevitable. But to be honest with you, every person who ever left my salon wasn't a good fit anyway, culturally. They just didn't align with the things I aligned with. They didn't show up the way I needed them to show up. They didn't dress the way I wanted them to dress. They didn't show up to any of the events. And to be honest with you, they should have been let go a while ago. And that goes for everyone. So if anyone's watching this and you work for me, you're not here for a reason, honestly. So there's maybe 1 or 2 people in my life that I ever worked with that was a good fit, and I dropped the ball as an owner. But it's up to you as the owner to make sure you can support their dreams and goals. So if I have a stylist on my team and she wants to become an educator, I can teach her that. If she wants to become an influencer, I can teach her that. If she wants to sell products and start a Shopify store, I can do that for her. She wants to start her own brand, I can do that for her. I have connections. So anything and everywhere, anything and anything people want to do in this industry, I'm able to support them and help them achieve that. And so you need a vision so big that it fits your team's vision inside of it, and they won't really have to go anywhere else. I hope that answered your question. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the podcast. Like I said before, if you're watching on the live, drop the word grow right now. If you want to learn more about the Level Up Academy, if you need help, you're struggling. If not, just keep following me on YouTube and learning from me here. But if you want to really fast track your success behind the chair in leadership, mindset, marketing, and operations, then drop that in there on the podcast. Thanks for listening. Make sure you click subscribe if someone sent this to you. And the same thing goes for YouTube. I will see everyone later. Have a great day.